Hey, Shalom Israel. Welcome to Wednesday night class. It looks like we're live. Good to see everybody in person. Shout out and shalom to your families. Hope everybody's doing well. Shout out to all of our brothers out there in Houston and Rochester, New York, and also Norfolk, Virginia. Shout out and shalom to Cabo Cab down in Guatemala, him and Atazai in London, and all of his congregation from Atlanta to California to New Mexico, Florida, Detroit. All brothers and families that watch online. Hope everybody's doing well. And for those newcomers that watch online, shalom, shout out to you and your families as well. Hopefully this is edification and beneficial to your mental well-being, spiritual well-being, emotional well-being. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The title of the class is called The Satisfaction Behind Waiting Patiently. All right, the satisfaction behind waiting patiently. All right. So hopefully we can get it all in one time. If not, it'll be a part two. First scripture we want to go to is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1 through 3. I'm sorry, fix this for me. That's Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1 through 3. Shalom family online, for everybody watching online, good to see everybody. Hope your families are doing well and your health is doing well. For anybody that's sick or under the weather, most definitely we praying for those that are sick and ask the Most High that He send the angels and healing spirits to your households, to your health, to your bodies, to your travels, to your commutes, to and fro wherever you go. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's get that Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1 through 3.
Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord.
Now, one thing that I like about what Paul is saying, what is he classifying himself as?
Prisoner.
What does that mean? When you classify yourself as a prisoner, what are you declaring?
Having your liberty restrained.
Okay, you having your liberty restrained. What else? What else? A prisoner. What is a prisoner?
Your will, your opinion, guided by someone else's instruction.
Right. You don't have power over your situation. And that's what Paul is letting it be known as of now that he's calling himself a prisoner. He says, I therefore, as a prisoner, he said, I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord. Right? Read.
I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called.
He says, I'm a prisoner, and I'm begging you that you walk worthy of the vocation that you are called. Paul is saying, man, it's very important how he starts this off. He's letting it be known that in this walk, this is how you have to have your mindset. You have to have your mindset as if you belong to Christ. You know, if you're going to walk worthy of this vocation and be qualified for the benefits that the Most High has to offer, you have to know that something has to be in submission. So I like what Paul is saying right here. He's explaining that he doesn't have any power or control over his situation when it comes to his job. And he's asking that we submit ourselves this same way in order to be qualified to be called these, the sons of and daughters of the Most High. Right? Read on.
Verse 2. With all lowliness.
He says, but you have to have certain aspects or tools, so to speak, to do this vocation, to do this duty. He says, there are certain things that you have to have accessible to you. Those things that you have to have accessible to you is what?
Lowliness.
He said you got to have lowliness. Well, if you're a prisoner, you're already saying what?
I'm under bondage. Whatever you say, go.
It's not my way. Things aren't going my way. It's not going to go my way.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that if you consider yourself a prisoner, you know it's not about how you want things done, and it's not about, your power and what you want. Yes, sir.
Is that like you don't esteem yourself, on the level?
God, exactly. You don't exalt your way. And so that lowliness is, I follow. I don't lead. I follow. It's not my way. I don't dictate direction. I receive instructions to determine direction. Read.
With all lowliness.
Go ahead.
And meekness.
It says, so I also got to have what ready and handy?
Meekness.
I got to have lowliness. I got to have meekness. Meaning I have to endure injury patiently without resentment. Right? Read.
with long suffering.
Also, I got to have another tool that I have to have on my belt to do this job. I have to have what?
Long suffering.
That means I have to know how to suffer for a very long time. All these things are critical in being this disciple or student of Christ or soldier for Christ. Read on.
Forbearing one another in love.
And one of the greatest things that you have to understand is that people are going to push your buttons. And regardless of how people push your buttons, it can't change the job details. It can't change the direction that the Most High wants you to be in. You can't let people undermine your vocation. And so you got to be willing and ready and to have it on deck. You have to have forbearance on deck. What does forbearance mean? I know Karai's not in yet.
Forbearance. It says the adjective is patience or long suffering.
You say you got to have what?
Patience or long suffering.
Go ahead.
It says withholding from action.
It says, so I got to be able to restrain myself from what?
Action.
I got to learn how to restrain myself from taking action. Because a lot of times people are going to push your buttons and they're going to get under your skin. And it's your job in Christ to restrain yourself from taking action. And that's what that forbearance is all about.
Damn.
Because when you deal with people, people come with flaws and they come with misunderstandings and they come with agitation. And they come with things that are get under your skin. So it's not like we don't understand what this means. You know, we know fully what this means. Each and every one of us knows what it's like to be pushed to your limits.
Okay.
Right? What else you got on that forbearance?
It says a ceasing or restraining from action, patience or long suffering.
All right. So Paul has given us the details of what it takes to carry with us in order to walk this walk and to satisfy this obligation in Christ. Yes, sir.
It also says command of temper, restraint of passions.
Command of temper
Oh,
or restraint of passion. That's excellent too. So that means you have to have control over your what? Your temper. Yeah.
Emotions.
You can't do this job in Christ if you don't know how to control your temper.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have your passions under control. He says it's very important that you do, because if you don't know how to command your temper, you don't have your passions under control, which is basically your emotions. You don't have your emotions under control in this walk that we walk in Christ. Jump down to verse 14.
Come, verse 14. Ephesians 4:14. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro.
So if you don't have these things with you, you're going to be like a what?
Child.
Tossed to and what?
Tossed to and fro.
So you're going to be like a child tossed to and fro. So that means that, do children have emotional control?
No.
Do children have command over their tempers?
No.
Do children have patience?
No.
Do children have self-control or self-restraint? So he says that in order to do this walk, you have to have a grip on yourself, on your feelings, on your emotions. Otherwise, you'll forfeit the vocation that you're called, because you'll be too busy thrown every which way, tossed to and fro like a what?
It says like a child.
Like a child.
Tossed to and fro.
So a child, when they don't get their way, they're emotional. When they're told to wait, they can't. When they're told to behave, they don't know why they can't not behave. They got to do what comes to mind, and they think irrational. Now we know Proverbs 22:15 says what?
Go here.
Yeah, you can put it on.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 15 reads, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child.
So if you don't have self-control, if you don't have restraint, and you don't have patience with people, what's bound to happen?
Foolishness
So what's bound to happen?
is bound in the heart of a child.
So what's bound to come in your mind? Foolishness is bound. If you don't understand what Paul is saying about what it takes to be a prisoner and what it means to have these attributes of a prisoner, readily and handy with you at all times to do this job, then you're going to be bound like a child, which is given to foolishness. You're waiting for something foolish to happen. It's only a matter of time. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a what?
Child.
Of a child. So if I don't have control over my passions, I'm bound to make mistakes. And this is just a circumstance and a condition of children, because children, this behavior can be expected of them.
Yeah.
It's expected of a child to not have no self-control. But it's expected to be in Christ that you grow out of that. All right? So he says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. Read.
Come. But the rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
So that the child needs correction, because that's the only way to get it out. All right? So let's go back to where we were in verse 14 in Ephesians chapter 4.
Ephesians 4:14. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, carried about with every wind of doctrine.
So no matter what somebody brings to me, I'll either believe it, because children are gullible, or children are easily swayed, and children have little control over their emotional stability. Now you got, this is the majority of what to expect with somebody that doesn't have these qualifications. Now, read on.
It says, by the sleight of men.
So he says, by the sleight of what?
Men.
So what he's saying is that you have to get a grip on you. He says, because there are people that will use your instability against you. When he's saying by the sleight of men, he's saying men will catch on to the fact that you have no self-control.
Yep.
Men will catch on to the fact that you can't control yourself.
Yep.
And men will catch on to the fact that, okay, this person is, I know how to throw this person out their game.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is get under their skin, and this person's just gonna lose it. Or I know how to pull a Houdini move and do a Jedi mind trick on this person. When this person tries to question me, analyze me, I know just the right words to get them off my trail. And I know how to deflect, and I know how to throw smoke bombs at this individual, and I know how to cause an argument out of thin air.
Okay.
I can create an argument out of anything. Because you know what people, the sleight of men is the craftiness that people have when they see that you don't have any emotional stability. It's what people will use against you that they identify that's in you as a weakness. You give them the big red button to push, like you on The Voice. While you hear somebody singing and they hit the button, they turn around in their chair and they're just like, oh my God, I want this guy on my team, man.
Yeah.
Hit the big red button. Or you know how to push people's buttons. You allow people to know how to push your buttons because they can recognize that, you don't know how to control yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. You don't know how to wait.
Yep.
I get it. Oh, you don't have any mental stability, emotional stability. So all I got to do is just get you irate, and then you know what? You're no longer even paying attention to what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I now dictate the course and the direction that this conversation is going to go because I'm the stable one. I just got you irate.
Yep.
Now I look like the one that's emotionally charged up and in control. I'm in control. Now I'm the one that looks logical.
Yep.
I'm the one that looks rational because I was able to push your buttons.
But then we wonder why respect's lost. Because
Mm-hmm.
a person who's constantly irate or constantly out of
Emotional balance.
because they lack emotional intelligence, then you wonder why people look at them like, I can't go to that person.
Yeah.
Or I can't respect, or now it's hard for me to follow that person.
Yep.
Because every time I talk to them, every time we have an interaction, there's an emotional outburst. Or whenever you're around this person, you see the emotional instability.
Yep. I see it.
It's true.
So now I use that as a means to go around or bypass this person.
Oh.
I don't have to respect you. I don't have to go to you. See, we can't even have a civil conversation.
Yep.
People.
Yeah.
Man, when you look at what people will use against you, one thing they'll use is you.
Yeah.
They'll use you against you. And what's weak about you against you. And what they'll see to use against you is the fact that you have no emotional control. Oh, okay, this person's get mad quick. Okay, let me change the direction of how this is going to come out. I'm going to control the outcome. I'm going to navigate through this disagreement by showing this person how off they are. Because look at how they raise their voice. Look at how they can't control themselves. Look how there's no stability. Look how I'm staying calm and you're not. Why should I follow you?
Yeah.
Why should I listen to you in Christ? Why should you be qualified as my head and my leader when I see that you become unraveled? You're easily, unraveled.
Yeah.
That don't look like a respectable trait. You have no control. Oh, you're a pushover. You have no resilience. You have no fortitude. I got this under control. So what Paul is saying is that you can't be like a child and have evidences of this imbalance. He says because there are certain people that will use that as a tool against you. He says, read that part again. By the sleight of men.
By the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait.
He said, and cunning craftiness. He says, people will lie in wait. That means people they'll do just enough to agitate you, and they'll know what it takes. And once you give somebody the ability to get under your skin, they're going to exploit that. They're going to exploit that weakness. They're going to exploit that vulnerability. And they're looking for weakness to exploit. Because ultimately what it is it's a battle of control.
Yeah.
It's a battle of willpower. It's a battle of my will versus your will. And who's qualified to give me instruction. So he's saying that people will actually use this as a means to deviate the situation. Read it again, that last part.
And cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
They say they lie in wait to what?
To deceive.
It says they lie in wait to what?
Deceive.
So if I don't learn how to if I don't learn how to have meekness, if I don't learn how to have temperance, long suffering, if I don't know how to have forbearance, if I don't learn how to have patience, and if I'm tossed to and fro emotionally, it says people will use that to deceive me and deceive the situation. They use it all against me as ammunition. I feed people with the ammunition that it takes to move around me, or to not listen to me, or not follow. People will learn how to navigate around you, and you give them all the ammunition because you don't look like you're in charge. You don't look like you should be respected.
Yeah.
All right, we understand this.
Uh-huh.
So he says people will lie in wait to deceive, and this is how you're enticed. And another way that you're enticed. Let's go to Psalm 73. We should have it on there. Psalms chapter 73, and we're going to read verse 12.
Psalm chapter 73, verse 12.
Let's read that.
Psalm 73, verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly.
He says, these are what?
Behold, these are the ungodly.
He says, David is having a problem in Psalm 73. He says, behold, these are the ungodly. Go ahead.
Who prosper in the world.
He says, now, if I don't have a control over my mental, emotional stability, and I got people around me that are doing better than me,
Mm-hmm.
their situation is better than mine. Their circumstance is better than mine. They're prospering in their way. What they're doing seems to be working for them. And these are individuals that have no desire to serve the Most High. But what they're doing is working. But if I don't have emotional stability, and if I don't get my passions under control, he says these are the ungodly that do what?
Who prosper in the world.
Go ahead.
They increase in riches.
It said they do what?
They increase in riches.
So if I don't have any gravity about me and my job as a prisoner for Christ, I will watch the world do whatever they want and not have to serve the Most High and not have to be in the condition I'm in. And what's going to happen from that point on? Read on.
Verse 13. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain.
Stop. What's happening already?
He's doubting the truth.
Say it again.
He's doubting the truth.
So if I'm not sound, if I'm not sure, and if I don't have patience with me, long suffering with me, meekness and forbearance with me, anybody's situation that looks better than mine will make me doubt what I do for the Lord. Already, David is explaining an internal battle, an internal struggle with his position with the Father. All he had to do was look outside of his situation, and through comparative analysis, this person is doing better than me. This person is prospering. They're excelling, and I'm not moving. They're growing, it looks like, and I'm in the same place. I'm running in place. I'm going nowhere fast. What the hell is going on? Why are they prospering and I'm stuck? He said, surely what?
He said, verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain.
He said, man, in just this quick of a second, I can look at somebody else and not like my position and already hate what I do for the Lord. Just that quick. I can hate what I do for the Most High. With just somebody just having a little bit of an advantage over me, and I can despise what I do for the Lord that quick. Boom, just that fast. What the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? you don't have patience with you, if you don't have long suffering with you, if you don't have forbearance or mercy with you, control over your passions and emotions, you could easily be thrown by what everybody else got going on in the world. And you're just comparing them to your situation, and you're looking at your situation like, what the hell is going on? And I've been doing this for a while. Because long suffering means I can suffer for a long time.
Okay.
But if I can't suffer for a long time, I'm going to quickly come up with the idea where they're doing something right, and I must be doing something wrong. See how quick, if we don't have these tools that Paul is talking about immediately after he said he was a prisoner, and he classified himself as a prisoner. A prisoner means I ain't going nowhere until I'm released. And if you don't have these tools that come with this mind frame that you're a prisoner, then anybody that looks like they're doing better than you will bother you. Any situation that looks like somebody has an advantage will bother you. Anybody's prosperity will make you doubt what you're doing for the Lord. Don't let your parents tell you that your brother's doing better than you or your sister is doing better than you. Don't let them rub that in. And they don't even serve the Lord like you do. But don't let them, well,
Yeah.
Golden child.
They just bought land.
your brother just bought a house. You
Yeah.
know your brother just bought a house, right?
Yeah.
You know that, right?
That make me proud.
You know, you're still doing that?
Yeah.
You still doing that with them people?
Yeah. The people.
You know your sister got married. You know, they're happy. They just came up on just got a better job, finished, they just graduated. You know, you borrowed money from me, you still ain't paid me my $100 back. You know you ain't paid me my $100 back. But I'm just saying, anybody can make you doubt what you do for the Most High.
Yeah.
Just that quick. Especially when you hear it from people that's close to you. It hits home, it hits harder. Then it makes you second guess what you do for Christ. But if you acknowledge the fact that I'm a prisoner, hey, it makes a world of difference. And if I'm a prisoner, knowing that, hey, I'm gonna be here for a while, and my situation ain't changing. It's not when I want it to change. The Most High got me in this situation. So if I can accept that, it's not so easy for anybody that is compared to me, or anybody that's in my face. I can immediately doubt what I do for the Lord. Read.
Con.
You're in
I'm in verse 13.
verse 13 one more time.
Psalms chapter 73, verse 13. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain.
Yeah, what am I doing? And why am I doing what I'm doing? This ain't making no sense, man. This is not fair. Go ahead.
And wash my hands in innocence.
I'm doing all these things to try to please the Most High for forgiveness of sins. But I'm watching people that are not doing what I'm doing, that could care less about trying to be right with the Most High. And there's nothing wrong with their situation. There's nothing wrong with it. Read on.
Verse 14. For all the day long have I been plagued.
Because serving the Lord feels like a what?
Plagued.
Serving the Lord, cleaning yourself up, being shown that you're wrong, being shown the things that's in you that you got to fix, that's wrong with you. It feels like you're being what?
Plagued.
Plagued. Like you're being diseased, being punished with something. You're being inflicted with something. Read.
And chastened every morning.
It says, and I got push-ups, I got phone calls I got to make, I got a dress code, I got 6:30 phone call, I got homework to turn in, I got reports to give, I got to counsel, I got to forgive. I got to do all these things. I'm asked to do these things every day. And it feels like I got to make these changes every single day. And everybody in the world doesn't have to make the same changes I got to make. And they're not urged to do so either. But I'm urged to change. And I get dealt with when I act out in my behavior. I get checked quickly and religiously for every mistake I make. But I don't see everybody else having to do that. So David is already in his head. David is already in his mind like, man, look at the advantage that they have over my situation. Read.
Verse 14. It says, for all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning.
Read on.
If I say, I will speak thus.
He said, I got to stop. If I keep going, if I keep talking about the advantages that the ungodly have over me, it's going to be a problem. What he's saying is, if I don't shut my mouth, I may infect somebody else with doubt. Because I'm already starting to doubt.
Okay.
He says, if I speak thus, read.
Behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children.
He says, I'm going to turn all the children against the Lord if I keep talking about how unfair it is to serve the Lord, and while the rest of the world got it easy, while the rest of the world got an advantage, I'm about to turn a whole generation against the Most High. I'm gonna make some unbelievers out of people looking at my situation, griping about my scenario. Read on.
Verse 16. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me.
He said what?
When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me.
What is David saying?
The consideration of the effect that he would have on people that made him reflect on this thought process, and that grievously the effect he can have.
Yeah. What he said is when he keeps thinking about how unfair it is, it's vexing him.
Yeah.
Because it's making him feel like, man, I'm doing all this for nothing.
Okay.
It's vexing his soul. Read.
Verse 17. Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High.
He says, until I went where?
Into the sanctuary of the Most High.
And so he says, until I sought the right perspective. And we'll come back on this point.
Please do.
He said, but I had to seek out the right perspective. I had to go, he says, to the sanctuary until I went to the sanctuary of the Most High. He says what?
Psalm 73 and 17. Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High. Then understood I their end.
He says, then it made sense to me. But I had to go seek out the right perspective of why my life didn't seem as fair as somebody else's life that doesn't have to be accountable to the Lord the same way. They don't have to use these virtues that I have to use on a daily basis. They don't have to be equipped with self-restraint. They don't have to be equipped with self-control. They don't have to be equipped with patience. They don't have to be equipped with meekness. They don't have to be equipped with forbearance. They don't have to use these things. They can act out, speak out, lash out. They can do whatever the hell they want to do, and they win. And it looks like they have an advantage. And I'm at a disadvantage. He said this ain't making sense until he went to the proper and got proper perspective from the sanctuary. So what does that look like? Let's go to Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 3, verse 1.
Ecclesiastes 3 and 1.
Mm-hmm. Read that.
Got it. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
So when David is seeking, he says he's seeking understanding from the sanctuary. He said this was painful for him to meditate upon. And so he had to go to the sanctuary to get understanding. So what do you understand about the Most High? Read it again.
God, Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. To everything there is a season.
So people that are winning now, are they always going to win? People that are up now, are they always going to be up? For my situation, as being uncomfortable as it is, feeling like a prisoner, will it always feel this way?
No.
So what he has to understand is, and what we have to understand is, with the Most High, everything has a what?
Season.
Everything has a what?
Season.
Season. What does that mean? One thing. What do you know about seasons?
That's the question.
They change.
Come and go.
They come and go, and they change. Is it always summer?
Nope.
No.
We got a cold front coming in now in the North Texas.
Damn.
That's why the storm. That's why there was a mega storm hitting over Texas now, because there's hot air meeting cold air as we speak, and we're already in past damn near past the spring
It's
almost.
almost June.
It's almost summertime. But you know what we realize that we're still getting bouts of cold coming in. Meaning that, and honestly, I'll be honest, for this to be almost June, it's been even 102 has been mild.
Yeah.
It really hasn't been as hot normally as it could be.
Not scorching.
No, because normally around this time of year it could be easily be 105, 108. We're not even seeing this. We hope to push that back way back to like August, September. We work outside, so we know how that feels. You know, but it's not always cold. All you have to do is wait. And if you wait long enough, things change.
That's true.
And so when you look at your situation, if you don't recognize how the Most High does things, and if you don't get proper perspective, you will think things will always be in a drought, or always be bad, or always be against you, or always be a disadvantage. Or you'll look at other people's lives and you'll say, well, they're always doing better than me. They're always going to have it better than me. They're always going to have it easier. And I'm going to have it hard. I am going to always be the prisoner. And they're going to be free as a bird with liberty to run and go to and fro and come and go in life. And they don't have to be bound to anybody. They don't have to be tied to anything. They're free as a bird. Is it always going to be that way, though? One thing you got to understand about the Most High is, and when you're trying to gain proper perspective, comparing your situation with somebody else's situation, is that seasons change. You're not always going to be at the bottom, and they're not always going to be at the top. And if you're at the top, you're not always going to be at the top. Sometimes you're going to be on the bottom. But you can't look at things and fixate your mind and make a sound determination that this is how life is always going to be.
Yeah.
Serving the truth is always going to be this bad. No, it's not. Suffering the truth isn't always tough. Isn't always bad. You got highs and you got lows. You got good times, you got bad times. Just like anything and everything with everybody else in the world. People ain't always going to have a leg up from you. You're not always going to feel like you play second fiddle, or you're like, you know, you're always last. Even the scripture say the first should be last, and the last should be what? And the last should be first. What does that mean? That means the roles reverse over time. The roles will reverse. So if I'm in a situation that looks unfair, like other people have an advantage over me, if I'm going to look at everything with proper perspective, you know what it is? It's just their season. It's just their season and ain't my season. That's all it is. If other people are winning and I'm not winning, it's their season to win. So be it. And it's my season to suffer.
Yeah.
And if I'm broke and I gotta count pennies and I gotta squeeze nickels, then it's just my season to do so.
Yeah.
And I gotta make sure I'm like measuring everything. I gotta measure every nickel. I'll be like, damn.
Everything's tedious.
Man, you normally get the caramel macchiato with the goat milk, with the extra cinnamon powder with a shot of espresso.
Yeah.
And your drink come out to $8.
Yeah.
You know, and you got it like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you like, let me get the house coffee. let me get the pike. Let me get the pike. We got free refills, right? Let me save my cup. Get free refills on the pike. Get the regular $3, $2 coffee. You know what I'm saying? You ain't always gonna have it. Sometimes you can splurge. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to splurge. But if you understand the Most High, you know there's a season to everything. And you know your condition is temporary. But if we don't understand that, we're going to flip on everything. I'm always in trouble. Is it that you're always in trouble? Are you always in trouble? No, you're not always in trouble. People always do it. We tend to use these words all the time. Oh, it's always going to be this way.
Yeah.
No, it's not. He said everything has a season. Now, we're not going to read this whole thing, but we just want to get to this point. It said, the sister said, isn't it important to have a positive outlook even when it's not your season? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great point, sis, that you made, because ultimately that's what we're getting to.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Most High wants us to have. But you got to recognize this first, that just because you see an imbalance, that doesn't mean that that imbalance is permanent. And just because you see a little suffering, that doesn't mean that the suffering is permanent. And just because you see a disadvantage in what you're doing, doesn't mean it's permanent. Now, we're not going to read this whole thing. Let's just jump down to, I think we get the point on this. Jump down to verse, give me verse 11.
Con, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11. I have seen the travail which the Most High hath given to the sons of men.
So now he shows how, after going through and showing how there's a season to everything, there's a time for everything, there's a purpose for everything. He says that men, we live in this up and down roller coaster called life, where there's highs and where there's lows. And this highs and lows, read on.
To be exercised in it.
It says we have to be what?
Exercised in it.
You know what? So when you're exercised in having high times and low times, and you're exercised in being up and other people being above you and you're at the bottom, and then you're on top and other people are at the bottom, he says you're being exercised in this. But the problem is that we judge things permanent too quick. And we make hasty decisions too fast. That's why a lot of us quit doing something for the Lord too soon.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Is it verse 11?
Yes. Verse 11.
Man, I read it.
Yeah, read 10 and 11. It's going to get to the same point.
You want me to
read 10 and
start
11?
over?
No, yeah, read 10 and 11. Same. You're going to get to the same point.
That was 10. So verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
He has made everything beautiful in his time.
Go ahead.
Also, he has set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that the Most High made from the beginning to the end.
So what he's saying is, you have to live within this high and low. The Most High made it to where everybody has to live in this middle space, where they're uncertain of whether things are going to be better, or they're uncertain if things are going to be worse. You know what the Most High is doing by putting us all in this middle realm? What is he doing? What's the benefit of putting everybody in this middle space of uncertainty?
Keep you faithful.
Say it one more time.
Keep you faithful.
Say it one more time.
Keep you faithful.
Say it one more time.
Keep you faithful.
What does that do by not giving you a determined outlook? What happens if we know that everything that from this point on is going to be easy in life? What's going to happen to us if we know that?
I'm gonna try. Huh?
There's no,
I'm coasting.
Say it again.
I'm coasting. I'm not trying.
What's going to happen?
I'm not gonna try.
I'm done.
I did it.
Yeah, I made it.
there's
I
no
did
need for faith.
There's no need for effort.
Con.
There's no need for nothing.
I wake up so early.
Yeah, why do anything? If I know that from this point on in my life, it's going to be a breeze, and I'm going to be up permanently from this point on in my
You
life,
gonna hit the lotto tomorrow. The Mega Millions.
if I hit the Mega Millions,
Right.
man,
I ain't coming back.
do you think I'm going to suffer?
Look, a lot of people think this. I ain't going back no more. I ain't going to no more. I got 500 million in the bank.
You know what? I can't wait to tell my boss, take this job. And put it where the sun don't shine.
Oh my God!
And I want to tell everybody, I got something for everybody in the office.
Yeah.
For everybody that made my check late. For everybody that told me I couldn't, that I couldn't get an extra lunch. That I took too long on my 5-minute lunch break.
Yeah.
I got words for everybody. I got some. I want to let everybody know something.
Oh my goodness! Man.
You're a piece of.
Yep.
You know what?
You ain't gonna be.
Yeah, you gonna be nothing. I feel sorry for your mother.
Yeah. I'm up now.
You know, you got something for everybody.
God.
Because you know what the most I know about us? If we knew that everything was going to be straight and great from this point on, man, we'll take our foot off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
We will immediately go into comfort.
God.
We'll go into coast mode. This is why the Most High makes everybody live
In limbo.
in limbo. Yes, sir.
So they was just saying in Louisiana, I can talk ish now, my money good.
Yeah.
I can talk
My
ish
money,
now.
money long.
My money good. My money good. So
Yeah.
Pac said, if you ain't got your money up, you can't go to war. He said you get your money up, then you go to war.
That's funny.
You can't go to war unless you got your money up. So now I'm gonna keep my mouth closed, but I really want something. I got something for everybody. I want to tell everybody something because my sister said that's how I felt when I retired. She felt like
I made it.
I got the middle finger for everybody.
Yeah.
But the Most High don't let us ride out in the sunset like that because it'll corrupt us.
Yeah.
So you know what the Most High does instead? He makes each and every one of us live in this little sway of ups and downs and highs and lows, where things are good and things are bad. Because soon as I get my money up, car break down, roof start leaking.
AC start going
So
down.
as soon as I get the roof fixed, plumbing pipes bust.
Wow.
Get short electrical shortage.
Cabinets are falling apart.
Yeah, as soon as I get the house right, then my job situation. Yeah, they're cutting back hours,
Yeah.
and they're kicking back people down to part time. And then they're not giving me my full 40 hours, not making 40 hours. They letting me go as soon as I hit 30. They let me go as soon as I hit 34 hours. Why they let you go at 34 hours? 35 hours. Why they let you go right at 34, 35 hours? You make 34, 35 hours in a week. Say it again.
You don't gotta pay you full time.
But what happens if they got to pay you full time?
They got to give you your benefits.
Yeah.
Full time. They cut the full time. You don't. They're not obligated to give benefits.
Right. So if they cut you at a certain time, they don't got it. You don't qualify for full time benefits. They know how just to keep you like at like 32. I forgot what the part time ends. A full time
It's
starts
like
at
36.
36. Think like once you hit 36 a week, you qualify for. In certain states, you qualify for full time benefits if you average over 36 hours a week for over a 6-month period. 36 to 40 hours a week is considered a full time employee. So they know how to keep you right at like 35. They like, hey, go ahead and clock out. You're like, man, I got like 30 more minutes, man. My 36. Said no, go ahead and clock out. Go ahead and leave early. We're not letting anybody get any overtime right now. Is it overtime, or you're not trying to put me on as a full time employee? They don't want to pay you vacation, no paid time off. They know just when to let you go, so they don't have to give you no extra. But the Most High do the same thing with us in the spirit. You know what? The Most High know what to do with us in the spirit. Don't give us too much, lest we get full and we do what?
Curse thee.
We curse thee. That's what the scriptures say. We get full and we curse the Most High. He said, Jezreel wax fat and do what?
Kick.
And kick. So we're masters at knowing how to pace ourselves when we know things are well or things are good. Then we kick our feet up and then we start coasting. So the Most High knows how to keep us on the verge of collapse, to keep us humble, so we don't get beside ourselves or we don't get too high and mighty. Because if he lets us go, we won't even have a need for the Most High. Oh, too long, and it won't be too long before we don't have a need to open the Bible up anymore.
Okay.
I don't need to read the Bible for what? Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So the Most High know how to make things just kind of turn down the knob of prosperity, turn up the knob of suffering. He controls that knob, that antenna. I know how to get you. I know how to get you back. I'm losing signal. I'm losing signal with this guy right here. Go ahead and turn that prosperity down. Turn his money off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Bust him up a little bit. Break his situation down. We're losing connection. He ain't even praying no more. He ain't even studying no more. I'm losing him. Go ahead and hit that divorce button. Hit that child support button on him real quick.
He'll respond.
Yeah, we'll get a connection back. let that court button hit. Hit him with the court button. Let him chicken stack up.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a connection. He'll dial back in. But I feel like I'm losing him. So the Most High He knows exactly what to do to keep you with your fingers on the Bible or your ears open somewhat. The Most High know how to. That's why the Most High got to put us in a situation where we live in this limbo stage. We live in this unknown and uncertainty. He gotta keep us in this realm. If not, we will corrupt ourselves and get too cocky, get too arrogant. So the Most High know how to keep things from just being all the way good, but He also keeps us from things being all the way bad. He said He don't put us in a situation that we can't handle.
Mm-hmm.
So the Most High is just in that arena also, but He also don't give us too much to where we don't need Him anymore. Yep. So we got to live in this complexity of, man, I'm not sure, and that's exactly where we should be, and that's exactly where the Most High wants us at, because we stay connected and tuned into Him. So read that one more time, verse 11.
Verse 11. He hath made everything beautiful in His time.
So if the Most High want me to have something, guess whose time I'm going to be on? I'll be on His time. If the Most High wants to change my situation, then it's on His time. He said the Most High made everything beautiful in His time. It's not my time. But what man likes to do is to dictate time.
Yeah.
We like to dictate time because therefore we dictate the outcome and we dictate control over the situation and the scenario. But it may not be the Most High's time. So He says, read that again.
Verse 11. He hath made everything beautiful in His time.
Read.
Also, He hath set the world in their heart,
Go ahead.
so that no man can find out the work that the Most High maketh from the beginning to the end.
Now, he said, this is why the Most High leaves us in limbo, so that you don't determine and dictate the situation. Because that's what we like to do. We like to dictate the situation. We like to determine the outcome before the Most High shows it to us. Because we like to move at our pace and on our time frame. Now, for example, when you go to Genesis chapter like 15, 16, Abraham asked for a child at 75 years old.
Yep.
He didn't get the child till when?
99.
It was 100.
Yeah,
but when,
right.
by the time Isaac was born, he had hit 100.
Yeah.
Seed is 99.
So he was a centurion. You know, he was 100 years old by the time the Most High gave him what he asked for.
Yeah.
So think about a 25-year span. He asked for a child at 75 years old and didn't get one till 100. Did the Most High tell him when he was going to give him one?
No.
But did the Most High promise him one?
No.
He did. But did he tell him when?
Nah,
Why?
because he's doing it in his time.
Because the Most High.
People where he wants it.
Because otherwise, if Abraham would have got it at 80, who knows if Abraham would have continued following? Because he asked for that child. That was one thing that was a priority. You got to read that too, because you got to understand what Abraham was fixated on.
Is that inheritance of everything that
Yeah.
it was the inheritance of everything the Most High had given him. Because he had Ishmael,
17.
but he was told that Ishmael wasn't going to be the one.
No, it's Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. Read that.
Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram.
Say what?
Fear not.
Another word for fear is doubt. The Most High told him, doubt not. Obviously, the Most High was talking to his doubt, talking to his fear, because he already knew what he was thinking about. So he said the Most High came to him in a vision and said what?
Fear not, Abram.
Go ahead.
I am thy shield.
He says, you can trust me. You can put your trust in me. Read on.
And thy exceeding great reward.
And if you stay steady, I'll reward you. I'll be your reward. So what he's telling them is, don't go for self. Don't be premature in your movements and your decisions. Don't be hasty in your decision making. Read on.
Verse 2. And Abram said, Lord power, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless?
Now, what was priority in Abram's mind?
Child.
And having a child. That was priority in Abram's life.
Yeah.
He says, we're in verse 2. He says, and Abram said, Lord, power, what will thou what?
Give me,
Go ahead.
seeing I go childless.
Does anybody want to do the work in vain?
No.
No.
They want somebody to do all this.
They want something. Abram is telling the Most High what it is that he wants. He said, I go childless. Read on.
And the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus?
Go ahead.
And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir,
He said, this ain't going to be your heir. Read.
but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir.
He said, but your child going to come from your own loins. You're going to have seed to come from your own loins. Now, he told him this at 75. He didn't tell him when that was going to happen, man. And that's what be killing us. That time frame that the Most High, that leaves a situation undetermined. He puts a question mark at the end of that promise. Because he said everything is beautiful in the Most High's time frame. But that's not what we want to hear. That's not what we want to know. We want things to go according to how we see fit. And based on how we see things. And what makes sense to us. But the Most High said, man, listen, don't worry about that. You're going to have a child and it's going to come from you. Don't worry about Eleazar. He's not going to be the heir. But you know what the Most High did? Go to Genesis chapter 22.
Genesis chapter 22,
Give me verse 12.
verse 12. And he said, lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him.
This was Isaac. Read.
For now I know that thou fearest the Most High.
When did the Most High know that Abram really trusted him?
Like 100 and something.
When you ready to give him,
115.
when you ready to sacrifice his own son.
It's when he had to wait 25 years to get Isaac. And then when he got Isaac, he was told to sacrifice Isaac
Give him up. Right?
and give him up.
Yeah.
You had to wait a quarter century to get what you asked for. And then when you get it, you're told to let him go. Sacrifice him for me.
Man.
You waited 25 to get him. Isaac's got to be at least a young man at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Either he got to be in his 20s or teens or late teens, early 20s, 30s. Got to be somewhere around there. He was a lad, but he wasn't a baby.
No.
He had him for a while.
Yeah.
When you read, when he said, listen, I want you to sacrifice Isaac, and I want you to go a 3 days journey, Isaac had to carry the sticks that was going to be used for him to be sacrificed upon.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have been a baby
No.
going 3 days with sticks in his hand.
No.
And then he had to go to a mountain. So he wasn't no baby carrying sticks for 3 days and then climbing mountains with sticks. He wasn't a baby at this point. So he had to have at least spend some time with him. He had to be a little bit older. So then the Most High tested Abraham and said, listen, go ahead and put him to death, sacrifice him for me. Read that again.
Verse 12. And he said, lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the Most High, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.
So what was the Most High waiting on? What was the Most High doing with Abraham or Abram from 75 years old up until he said, don't put your hands on Isaac? Say it again. Say it again, sis. He was testing his faith. The whole period of time was a test. In between that whole space of 75 to I want you to give him up, he was living in limbo.
Yep.
Damn, you told me you gonna let me have a son, then you give him to me, then you come back and tell me to sacrifice him, and you already know that I wanted an heir so that I could give my inheritance to, and now you're telling me to take him away, and now you're telling me to spare him. But the whole time period was an unknown condition, because everything in the Most High's time is beautiful. The Most High will always be on his time. He will never be on our time.
Yeah.
You know what happens when we're on our time? We got the scripture up, Numbers chapter 15, verse 32. Read that.
God. Numbers chapter 15 and verse 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day.
So he knew it was the Sabbath. Read.
And they that found them gathering sticks brought them unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation. And they put him in ward.
They said they put him in a ward, meaning they put him under restraint. A ward is a prison. Temporary prison. Read.
Because it was not declared what should be done to him. And the Most High said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death.
They said the man shall what?
Surely put to death.
Go ahead.
All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones. And he died, as the Most High commanded Moses. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel.
Now stop. Why did they put him to death? Why did the Most High say put that man to death? They didn't know what to do with him. He was in violation. They didn't know what to do with him. The Most High said do what with him? Stone him. Why did the Most High declare such a harsh punishment for picking up sticks? It may seem like, man, he's picking up sticks.
Well, didn't want that influence to infect the mind of the people.
What influence was it? Yes, sir.
He didn't want, because he was doing it on the Sabbath day,
Right.
right?
But
Presumptuous.
right.
Yeah, he didn't. He made it about himself versus the Most High.
Right. It was his will over the Most High's will. He became willful. Was it about him doing it? Could he have picked up sticks 6 other days out the week?
Okay.
Were there not other days allotted for stick picking?
It sure was.
6 days.
He could have did it. He could have picked up them sticks any other day. But what he was saying was, I don't care what day it is. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna be on my time. So this is why the punishment may seem harsh, but this is what the Most High deal with, because this is the mind frame that the Most High has to battle. Men declaring their own time and what they want to do and what they feel like should be gotten for them and to them. That's willful. He knew it was right and wrong. He just chose to do it anyway because he wanted to operate on his time.
Yeah.
So back to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11.
You know, it's crazy. Just kind of on your point about not knowing, or why the Most High doesn't let us know the next battle or next reward. So if I'm not mistaken, this is right after they were told you're not going to make the kingdom anymore, or you're not going to get your land anymore. So in his perspective, it was almost like, what am I fighting? What am I serving for now? If I got to suffer more and go and live this walking around this land for 40 more years, what's the point?
I'm going to go for me.
I'm going to go for me now. I might as well focus on coming up at this point. I'm not getting what I want from it.
Yep. So because now I might as well.
Okay.
I might as well find some pleasure. But the Most High said what? Verse 11, Ecclesiastes chapter 3.
God, Ecclesiastes 3 and 11. He has made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he has set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that the Most High maketh from the beginning to the end.
So you don't know where you are with the Most High. You don't know if you... Abram just had this trust that the Most High told him you're going to have a child. You just got to wait. You ever tell a child to wait? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we there yet? Where we going? What are you doing? Where are we going? Are we there yet?
Yep.
Children can't wait. Moses had to be... Moses had to put Abram in a position where he had to wait. You look at Joseph. Joseph went into prison at 17.
Mm-hmm.
When did the Most High raise him up?
At 30.
At 30. How long is that?
13 years. 13?
13. So that means that this guy had to sit in prison for how long?
13 years.
He had to sit in prison for 13 years.
Physical prison.
I've already been sold off by his
He
brothers.
was sold off by his brothers at 17. You was sold to some Ishmaelites, a band of Ishmaelites,
Mm-hmm.
some horse jockeys, camel jockeys. So you sold to Ishmael. Then you go from Ishmael, little wandering salesman, to a prison in Egypt,
Yeah.
and then you're in the prison from 17 years old to 30.
Yeah.
You missed your teens. Your teens and 20s was in prison.
The best years of your life.
You so to speak.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
say that's the strongest, the best years of your life was sitting
Yeah.
in prison. That's your prime.
Yeah.
And then the Most High raised him up. He had 13 years in prison. Whose time was he on?
Most High's time.
That's how everybody is.
Yeah.
See, the Most High makes sure that you're not able to predict where you are, so that you can just follow. Because the minute we can predict, if Joseph knew, man, I only got to do 6 months. Imagine the mind frame. My Waller, you had a brother, a brother you was teaching, that he came to class last year, right?
I think so.
And because he was about to get sentenced to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And when he found out that he is going to go in, he just called you about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, he called me today.
That's
He just called me. That's funny that you brought it up.
He just,
Right before class.
He just called you the day right before class?
He just called me right before class.
I remember you telling me like he called you 2 weeks ago.
He's supposed to be in there now.
Is because he wanted to get something to eat with you
Yeah.
before he go in. And now he called you today. That's funny, bro. He calls you today because he know he's about to do what?
Time.
He's about to do some time. So what is he doing now that he knows that he's about to do some time?
Enjoy myself.
Now, keep in mind, when he first got the word that he could do some time, he came to class, and this was a year ago.
Yeah, remember that.
But remember, it wasn't determined all the way whether he was going to go in or not.
Yeah.
But when it was found out that he's now going to go in, he just called you 2 weeks ago. So from a year ago until 2 weeks ago, where was he?
50 weeks.
Where was he?
Doing him?
So you mean to tell me that when he first got the word that he could possibly do some time, that was enough to scare him to come to class, and he was in class?
Yeah.
But it wasn't until he was told, yeah, you're going to do this time now. What are you doing, 5 years?
No, I think he's been, 5 to 10 years.
Okay, 5 to 10. That's even a question mark.
5
You don't even know how long that's going to be in there. But Trump will not be in office by the time he get out. Be a whole nother president if America's still around.
Yeah.
But think about it. You had from the time that you got the initial scare that you was going to go to jail, and then you only came to class one time or 1 or 2 times. I don't want to lie on him.
He came before he got sentenced. He used to come like 3 or 4 times.
Okay, 3 or 4 times. But he had stopped for a while.
Yeah.
And then so now that he know he got the judgment and he got the sentence, now
He reached a war to get to me.
okay. Okay. So, but think about it. Think about the moves people make. It's not till fear and dread is upon them, then they do what? Now I take it serious. Hey, bro, I need to talk with you. I'm finna go in. I need you to pray for me. I need prayers. I need you to petition your God to assist me in my situation when he could have been petitioning the Most High himself. When he could have been showing the Most High through his works that, hey, Lord, give me another chance. Imagine now if he would have been here the whole time since he got the initial fear of judgment. How much mercy could the Most High have had on him if he had been steady the whole time?
Yeah.
But you know what we do? When the threat is gone, the threat of trouble is gone, the threat of fear is gone, our service is gone too.
True.
The obligation to the Lord is gone. Then when the fear comes back, now I want to come back. See how the Most High, why the Most High has to keep us in this imbalance?
Mm-hmm.
He has to keep us in this imbalance. Otherwise, we won't be faithful to him. We'll pick and choose when we want to serve the Lord and when we don't want to serve the Lord. So the Most High said, okay, man, I know how you are, so I got something for you. I know how to fix the situation perfectly. I know how to fix the situation perfectly where nothing is going to go on your time frame. You're never going to get what you want on your time frame and how you want it on your time frame, because I already know how you are. Once the Most High repair everything in our life, we're ghosts. We go on with the wind. We out of here. Once things are broken, once things are, not unstable, mightily unstable, we can't call it. Now all of a sudden, because I can't call it, man, I might need the Most High to look out for me. Might not is not even a question. This is why the Most High keeps us in that unknown, uncertainty, that limbo. I'm not sure what the Most High is doing. I just know that I better be right with the Lord. I just know I got to get my mind right. And I better keep my mind right. Because I don't know where I'm at with the Lord. I don't know if I'm at the beginning of something. Or he said, I don't know if I'm at the end of something.
Yeah.
Read that last part again and then give me 1 Corinthians 4 and 5.
In the middle of 11, so that no man can find out the work that the Most High maketh from the beginning to the end.
Because if we could call it, we would pick and choose when we want to do, when we want to serve, when we want to submit, when we want to commit. when we want to take the Most High serious.
You want to throw out the Most High. The Most High throw out internet. Like he saw you throwing, he throws your internet. After so many minutes, after so many minutes, or after so much internet you've used on your phone, after a while, like you waste all your hours. I'm gonna throw out you now.
Yeah.
You want to throw out the Most High. I'm only gonna give you so many hours.
Or
So much spirit.
when your phone company, you can't make calls that you can text for a day.
Yeah.
I got 1 day of texting before they shut it off all the way. Because otherwise, you keep using it without paying the bill.
Yeah.
You keep riding it out. The Most High knows us, man. So the Most High he has to create the situation and the scenario where he's always got to be purposeful in our lives. Otherwise, we would determine when to cast the Most High away, when I need him, and when I don't need him. We'll pick and choose the servitude. The Most High's like, nah, I'm not letting you get away with this. I'm not going to let you get away with that. I'm going to leave your life with a whole bunch of question marks like the Riddler. Who is that on that man? The Riddler? They got all the damn question marks on his outfit with the green suit on. The Most High said, I'm going to make your life like the Riddler. You don't know what the hell's happening. You don't know if you're at the end or you don't know if you're at the beginning. And the Most High will have it that way. Because if we had a choice and we had control, we wouldn't see the Most High the way that he's supposed to be seen and served and loved and worshipped. Read that in 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5. Therefore judge nothing before the time.
He said, therefore judge nothing what?
Before the time.
That's why the Most High has it to where you can't make a judgment before the what?
Before the time.
Do you know what's going to work in your favor? No. Do you know what's going to work in your favor? No. That's why the Most High said, judge nothing before what?
Judge nothing before the time.
Judge nothing before the time. Go ahead.
Until the Lord come.
It said until when?
Until the Lord come.
How long should you fix your mind on, I have to stay committed to the Most High no matter where I'm at, whether I'm up or whether I'm down? How long are we going to be living in this limbo, so to speak?
Until the Lord comes.
Until when?
Until the Lord comes.
So can you ever fix your mind on cruise control?
No,
you cannot. Because the minute you put your mind on cruise control and I'm going to coast, that's when you get a scare. That's when you get the Most High having to put fear into you. That's when the Most High has to break things down in your life. That's when things in your life start to go wrong because you're on cruise control. You ever be on cruise control in your car and then somebody slam on their brakes in front of you?
That's very comfortable.
You know what I'm saying? You was cruising. Or you read about the little 16-year-old dude that he died in the Tesla when Tesla first came out with self-driving mode.
Oh, God.
The little 16-year-old.
Never heard of that.
He had self-driving mode was still brand new. And the little kid, dad, I guess the parents bought him a Tesla, the first models that came out, little plaid model or whatever it is, Tesla Model S. And he put it on self-driving mode and went to sleep. Took a nap. And he didn't wake up. Because what they say that he hit a truck. Because the sun hit the truck and created a glare where the self-driving mode didn't see the truck.
Wow.
And he just slammed right into the truck and blew up and caught on fire. He was one of the first fatalities in the Teslas.
Wow.
And then Elon had to come out with a statement and said, listen, our technology is not made to be driven. The self-driving mode is still supposed to be your hands on the wheel. You're not supposed to have your hands off the wheel in self-driving mode. It's just an assistant. So he had to come back with an apology statement, and he didn't want to get sued. But that's how the Most High know we operate in life. As soon as we know everything's okay, we take our hands off the wheel, or we take our hands away from prayer. We don't need to pray. Pray for what? Sister right here just said, same thing happened to my niece, but had a cancer scare. She in that Bible now and cancer free. So what happens?
Same thing.
Same thing. You get the bad news. You get the bad news because what does it do? It reattaches you to the Father. When you get the bad news. And then when you're there, reattached to the Most High, Now you're where you're supposed to be at. You're supposed to be with him anyway. Now you're exactly where the Most High wants you at. Connected to him. But look at what the Most High would have to do to keep that connection with us. That's why the Most High cannot give us no definites and no guarantees. He can't give us those. We're not ready for guarantees yet. We're too fickle. We're too, I'm here today, I'm committed today, I'm not so committed. I love the Lord, I'm tired. Man, I'm patient, I'm running out of patience. Man, I love God, I'm angry. Man, the Most High can't give us no guarantees. He can't give us no guarantees. He keeps us in that. He said in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 5, read that one more time.
Okay, 1 Corinthians 4 and 5. Therefore, judge nothing before the time until the Lord come, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the heart.
So the Most High said he'll bring it out later. Everything's going to come out in due time. In the meantime, the Most High keep us humble, keep us committed, keep us connected to him. The way he keeps us connected to him is keeping us in the unknown, because it forces us to have faith. We understand this point?
Okay.
Because we have to understand what the Most High is doing, and we have to recognize we're on his time. This is what you get. This is what David got when David said that he had to go to the sanctuary. He got the understanding. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 8.
God.
That's crazy, my word. Dude said he called you today, man.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here. Right?
Well, you know, you know what? It ain't never too late. The Most High could always have mercy on the situation. Hey, I'll give a little quick testimony. I had child support, a whole lot of it too, and I was supposed to go to jail that day because, you know, the judge, the first person he called, you know, he make an example out of him. And out of 40 people in the child support courtroom, I was holding it. I had to go to the bathroom. I was holding it. I couldn't hold it no more. I had to go to the bathroom. As soon as I came out the bathroom, the bailiff said, "Hey, man, you so-and-so?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "The judge called you first." I said, "Man, I had to use the bathroom. I couldn't hold it." He said, "All right, it's all right. You're going to be second." So as I'm waiting, I'm watching the judge. First person get up, read the situation. "Oh, you're in contempt of court because you failed to pay this judgment, child support judgment." The judge told the wife, the ex-wife, "What do you want me to do with him?" She said, "Well, he hangs out at the tire shop all day, and he drinks beers with his buddies, so obviously he could be working. So put him in jail." The judge said, "You know what, bailiff?" Before she even finished talking, the bailiff had him in handcuffs. So I didn't know that the judge was going to give the first person, that woman, control over what to do with that man. And that was about to be me. Yes, sir.
He was setting the tone
He was setting the
for
tone.
the rest of the day.
Yeah, he put fear in everybody in the courtroom. You got a grown man crying in the courtroom. And tears. He already sniffling. Hands behind his back. "Hey, man, I have a back problem." That's what he was saying. "I have a back problem." She said, "No, he don't. He be lifting tires. He be helping at the tire shop." "I have my back hurts. So it hurts." He said, "No, but get this guy out of here." That guy was escorted out of there. Then he called me up next. I'm sweating. I'm like, man, that's how it's gonna go today. Oh man, I'm glad. You know what? That's gonna be.
Be like,
It's too late.
Be like Lion
That's how
Larry.
it work,
You go to the bathroom. Right?
Yeah, it's too late, man. You know what? My lawyer didn't even show up on time. The Most High had him running late. My lawyer didn't show up until I was standing in front of the judge.
Irresponsible.
He was irresponsible. He didn't even have his shirt tucked in. He was trying to tuck his shirt in while we were standing in front of the bench. And the judge didn't even let him talk. He let me talk. And I thought the scripture I had in my mind was, "Fear not when you go before the magistrate." The Most High said, "I will put my words in your mouth." That's what I was meditating on. Lord, give me whatever I need to say to be clear of this situation. Give me what I need to say. I don't know what to say. I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers, and I don't have the money. You put the words in me. And it just so happened the damn judge was late. I mean, my lawyer was late. And the judge didn't let him talk because he was late. He looked unorganized. And I spoke my piece. And the judge said, come back in 6 months. There's more to it, but I'm going to leave it at that. But the point is, the Most High got to leave us in uncertainty. It keeps us humble. It keeps us connected. It keeps us from doing what the hell we want to do. The Most High know how to fix us correctly. He know how to fix every situation. Yes, sir.
Or like when you lose a custody battle, you expect to win.
Yeah.
And then,
all the chips was lined up for you to win the custody battle.
yeah, and you lose it, and you should have won, quote unquote, because the evidence, favored the situation.
Yeah.
But all it does is just make you pray more. It's like, okay, you have to merely acknowledge, you know what, I wasn't in control today, and you have to find an acceptance for it.
Yeah. That it's not going to go your way. Yeah. You had your hand up? Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of that time when I first came to the truth, and I had I'm not going to say the whole scenario, but I had a situation.
Yep.
I had to go to court.
I remember you sweating bullets.
Brother, I had to go to court 5 times. And you was there with me 4 of the 5 times. But man, it was a real humbling process, man. Because I was about to do some serious time.
Yeah.
I can't talk about
Oh, I listen. We know how the Most High and what the Most High will use in situations to keep your attention. The Most High knows how to mix it up perfectly for us. Perfectly. That's why he said, you don't judge nothing before the time. I'm not going to let you be able to dictate nothing. You don't control nothing. You're not going to be able to call shots on your situation. 8-ball corner pocket. 7-ball side pocket. Man, you ain't calling no shots, man. Get out of here, man. You scratching. You out the game. This game's over, man. You scratch. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. And then in that midst of that moment, after this, my lawyer had a heart attack.
And you said in the midst of that moment.
My lawyer had a heart attack, so I have to represent myself.
You had to see how the Most High do it? But even then, but even then, you don't know how the situation gonna turn out.
Yeah.
The Most High knows how to not leave it in your power and leave it in your control. And the Most High does that on purpose. The Most High don't give us control like that. It's necessary that we don't have it, so that you can just stay in order. If we don't know how to just stay in order and follow, we'll become disobedient, thinking that everything's going to be okay. Or I'm going to say, you know what? Why even try? Because nothing, like David he's going through this mental. He said, I've cleansed my heart in vain. I'm doing all this praying and studying for nothing. I'm committed to the Lord for nothing. When I'm sitting back and watching other people not have to be committed to the Most High, and they're winning. This is silly. Why am I doing this then? You either gonna get 2 mentalities. I'm a coach and everything's gonna be okay, or I quit. Because I don't see the good in what I'm doing. That's why it says, judge nothing before the time. It said until the coming of the Lord. You don't control nothing until Christ get back and tells you, well done, my good and faithful what? Servant. Until you hear that, you don't control nothing. You stay on your knees and your hands together praying. You stay committed with the Bible open in front of you. Reading and studying. That's the best place for us. Is the unknown. I got to drive this point because this is the best situation we could be in. Is to not give us any definites and guarantees. Because we'll lose faith. We'll become unfaithful. Let that go in 1 Corinthians and go to Ecclesiastes 7 and 8.
Come. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 8 reads, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
And he said, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. Now, David is tripping out in the head because he's seeing people win and he's seeing himself lose. But he doesn't know the end yet. He doesn't know the end result or the end determination. He doesn't see it. But neither do we. Go to Go to Ephesians chapter 4, and I want you to read verse 7. But you know what? You know what we should understand? While we live in this limbo, so to speak, or this like Paul said, I'm a prisoner of the Lord. I just follow. There's something that we should know. Read.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 7. But unto every one of us.
He says one thing that we should know is that if you have the truth, and the Most High had the truth swing by your ears and your mind, and somebody dropped the truth on you, or you became familiarized with the truth. If the Most High put it in somebody's heart to give it to you, or to make you understand it, he says what?
Ephesians 4 and 7. But unto every one of us is given grace.
It says one thing that you have to understand is that the only reason why that you're here is because you were given what?
Grace.
You were given grace. This is why you have the knowledge that you have. It was actually the Most High giving you grace. You didn't something you didn't deserve or earn, of why the Most High gave you this truth. He says, but every one of us is given what?
Grace, according to the measure of the gift of Yahushua.
It says, and it was a gift to us. We didn't earn it. We didn't deserve it. It was given to us as a gift from Yahushua. One thing I do know, go to 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. One thing I should know, even though I know I don't have control, and I live in limbo, 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2.
2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2.
Read that.
For he said, I have heard thee in a time accepted, and in the day of salvation have I succored thee.
Is that 2 Corinthians 6 and 2?
2 Corinthians 6 and 2.
Go ahead.
Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation.
No, I want. There's another verse I want.
Maybe first.
Maybe 1 Corinthians 6 and 2.
The saints of Judge War.
Read 1 and 2. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 6, chapter 1.
Second.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. We then, as workers, together with him, beseech you also that ye receive not the grace of the Most High in vain.
It says, so one thing that we should know, that's it. That's verse 1 that I want. Yeah. He says we're supposed to be, we were given this gift to get this truth. And we're supposed to be working this gift, which is the grace that Christ has to give us, is a gift. We're supposed to be working this grace with Christ together. Utilizing this gift together with Christ. He says, so that what? Read it again, verse 1.
Verse 1, we then, as workers together with him.
So we're supposed to, we got the gift, which is grace from Christ, to get this truth. And he gave us abilities. We're supposed to join ourselves with Christ in order to utilize these abilities. Go ahead.
Beseech you also that ye receive not the grace of the Most High in vain.
If I don't take the gifts that he gives me and tie them together with Christ so I can work and manifest the purpose of these gifts, then I'm doing this, I got this grace in what?
In vain.
So I have to take this grace I'm given, tie it together, and do the work of Christ. If you don't take the grace and do the work of Christ, you got it in vain. You got it for nothing. It's not. Then it'll be worthless. Now go back to Ephesians chapter 4. I want you to read verse 12.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 12.
Read that.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints.
So the grace was given to me. The gift that Christ had to give me to get this truth, I'm supposed to tie it together with Christ and do what with it?
For the perfecting of the saints.
And make my job what?
Perfect.
No.
For the work of the ministry.
No. I'm supposed to be doing what with this gift? I'm supposed to be giving it to who?
To the saints.
To the saints. I'm supposed to be giving these gifts that the Most High gave me and applying them to the saints. For what purpose?
For the perfecting of the saints. For the work of the ministry.
It's for the work of what?
The ministry.
It's for the work of teaching. So if I don't get this truth and tie together with Christ and build up the body of Christ, then I got this grace in what? In vain. I can't take this grace that he gives me and go for self. I cannot take this grace and do me. It's not about me. I wasn't given this grace to go seek out my own pleasure. I was given this grace to go make and edify and build onto the body of Christ. Read on.
For the edifying of the body.
It says for the what?
For the edifying of the body.
For the building up of the body. Go ahead.
Of Yahushua.
Go ahead.
Till we all come in the unity of faith.
It says until everybody comes into the what?
The unity of the faith.
So what am I doing with this time that the Most High has given me and this knowledge that he's given me? What am I doing with it? My job is to build people up around me. I got to figure out what did the Most High give me to the edify that can be used to the edifying of the body of Christ. Each and every one of us got this truth for a purpose. And then if we all fulfill this purpose, we can all benefit the body of Christ. So instead of finding out what could just accentuate me in my life, I got to figure out what builds up Christ and the body. What's best for the body, not what's best for me. What's best for the body? Read verse 13.
Verse 13. It says, till we all come to the unity of the faith.
It says, till we all come to what?
The unity of the faith.
Until I make other people believe like I believe. My job is to make believers out of people. David said, I'm going to stop talking because I don't like my situation and what I'm seeing because I'm about to make unbelievers out of people. Read.
And of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Unto a perfect man.
It says until everybody's united until what?
A perfect man.
Go ahead.
Unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ.
Until we all reflect Christ. Until all of us reflect Christ. So that's my job. Now I'll go back to Psalms chapter 73 and I want you to read verse 18.
Psalm chapter 73 and verse 18.
Okay, we can hold tight on that. Yeah, they can hold tight. They can wait. Okay. Get this in Psalm 73 and 18.
Psalm chapter 73, verse 18. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places.
He says, surely the Most High set them in what?
In slippery places.
Go ahead.
Thou castest them down into destruction.
He says, thou castest them down into what?
Into destruction.
So he said, the Most High set up the wicked. It wasn't, David said, man, it wasn't what I thought it was. Man, I thought they had an advantage over me. I thought they was winning and what I was doing for the Lord was for nothing. It was in vain. Read.
Verse 19. How are they brought into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awaketh. So, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image.
He says, when they wake up, they're going to realize the Most High was an enemy to them. Read on.
Thus my heart was grieved.
It says, but until that time came, until I understood that to everything there's a season, and to everything there's a time, and that everybody is on the Most High's time. And it was just their season to get away with it. And it wasn't for me to be envious at their circumstance. It was just that the Most High was patient. Until David had comprehended this, read on.
Thus my heart was grieved.
He said, where was his mind at?
His heart was grieved. He's angry.
Why was he so angry?
People are getting away with all kinds of. No, he lives a strict life. People are getting away with all kind of negative, and it's affecting him.
So, what can affect us? Read this for me real quick, David. Page 775 in the Matthew Henry. I want you to read that green part.
Page 775, Matthew Henry. The sin that is contrary to this grace.
Stop. He says, now we know why, we read in Ephesians chapter 4 why we were given this grace. We're supposed to be edifying the body, teaching other people, and expanding the body of Christ until we all come to the reflection of Christ and look and embody Christ's works. He says, but there's something that can frustrate this. There's something that can forfeit this grace. There's something that could change the whole purpose of why the Most High gave us this grace. What is it?
And grace and duty.
Go ahead.
Covetousness.
What is it?
Covetousness.
What can make somebody forfeit the whole reason why the Most High gave them the truth?
Covetousness.
He said, what is the one element that can throw a person out of the whole purpose of why they were called into this program?
Covetousness.
Covetousness is that strong. What is David dealing with in Psalm 73?
Covetousness.
Covetousness. That's what he's fighting. You know what he's doing? What does it mean to covet? What is covetousness?
You want something very bad?
Unlawful.
When you desire something, or you have a strong urge for something that's not yours and or belongs to another person.
So, what you got?
You feel like you deserve something someone else got.
Yeah, you feel like you deserve something somebody else got that don't belong to you. So he said, covetousness is something that can make any one of us forfeit the grace of why we got this truth. What does that mean? Go ahead.
An overeager desire of wealth.
It says what?
An overeager.
I can get this truth, and I can have an overeager desire of what?
Of the wealth.
So think about this. It's one thing to not have the truth. It's another thing to get the truth, but still have an overeager desire of what?
Of the wealth.
So between this period of not having the truth and having the truth, there are certain things that I was supposed to have put under submission. There's certain things that I was supposed to have put under control. Read on.
Wealth of this world.
Go ahead.
Envying those.
It says doing what?
Envying those.
So just because you got this knowledge, just because you was given the grace to get this truth, it doesn't mean that you were able to quench your what?
Covetousness.
Your envy and your covetousness. You still got to put that under control, which is still falling in the definition of forbearance. Meaning you have to put your passions under control. You could have the knowledge of Christ. You could have grace to do this work for the edifying of the body. But there's still things in you that can still make you forfeit this position. You can have the truth, but still possess covetousness. Read on.
Envying those who have more than we.
Go ahead.
This sin.
It said this what?
This sin.
Go ahead.
We must allow no place in our conversation.
It said you can't even talk about what other people have that you don't have. You can't even start to compare, well, how come they got this and I ain't got that? How come this is working for this person and ain't working for me? How come you get to do this and I don't get to do that? How come you get to have power and make decisions and I don't? How come you get this liberty and freedom and you don't got a report but I do? How come this, it says you can't even find, you're not even supposed to have covetousness in your conversation. The minute you start talking about what other people have over you is the beginning of you forfeiting the grace of why Christ even gave you this opportunity. When you start looking and measuring yourself to other people about advantages, or how come they got and I don't got, or how come she got and I don't got. Read on.
For though it be a secret.
It says for though it be a what?
A secret.
You could have covetousness and not tell nobody that you got covetousness. You could keep it to yourself. Read on.
Lust, lurking in
It
the
said,
heart.
but it's still a what?
Lust,
It's still a secret lust. Where working where?
lurking in the heart.
It's still in your mind. It's still got to be rooted out. You could get the truth and still got secret lust ruminating and lurking in your spirit. Read on.
If it be not subdued,
It said, if you don't know how to subdue your lust and it's the secret things that you really want, you don't learn how to put that under control. Go ahead.
it will enter into our conversation.
It will come out eventually in the conversation. It's going to come out sometime or another. Either when you're angry or when you had enough or you're upset, it's going to come out. Everything that's inside of you eventually is going to come out sometime or another. Read on.
And discover itself in our manner of speaking and acting.
And it's not going to stop just in the speaking. It's going to come out in how you behave. You know what men are controlled by? Lust. The lust that they want that other people have dictates and determines and controls their speech and controls their behavior and their mannerisms. Read on.
We must take care not only to keep this sin down, but to root it out of our souls.
He said, we got to make sure not only just to keep it under control, but to get rid of it. If you don't learn how to get rid of the things that you see as far as advantages that other people have that you may not have, that will become your undoing. David is explaining that this is what's happening to him. This covetousness is about to make him forfeit the whole reason why the Most High called him and chose him. Because I got things that I want and it's not my time. But I feel like it's my time. It's things that I want that's not my doing, but I feel like, hey man, it's my. Jacob wanted Rebecca, right? How long did it take for him to get her? 14 years. Was it overnight? Abram wanted a son. How long did it take him to get one?
25.
25, quarter century. And then when he got him, he told him to put him to death. It ain't on our time. The things that we want is on the Most High's time frame. It's not up to us. You got to learn how to quench and subdue it and root it out. Read on this Psalm 73.
Yeah. Psalm 73, verse 21. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins.
Yeah, it said it bothered him. He said it was pricked in his mind. The reins is his kidneys. Kidneys, when you translate reins, it represents kidneys. Kidneys represents passion or the seat of emotion. David said watching other people not have the restrictions he possessed made him be emotional. And it made him feel like he was working in vain because of the success that other people had that he didn't have. The advantage they had that he didn't have. Made him feel like what he was doing for the Lord was for nothing. Read.
So foolish was I.
He said he called himself a what?
Fool.
He said I was a fool for what?
And ignorant.
He said I was a fool and I was ignorant. Go ahead.
I was as a beast before thee.
He said I was a dog or animal. Animals are represented because of their what? Their impulsive nature. They're compulsive. They just act. They don't think. They're illogical. They're irrational. They go off emotion. They go off how they feel. He said I was compared to a beast because I let what other people have bother me so much that it displaced me with the Most High. It put me out of character with the Lord. It made me feel like I was doing his work for nothing. I'm going to read on in this Matthew Henry. It says, the duty and grace that is contrary to covetousness is one thing that keeps covetousness under control. It says being satisfied and pleased with such things as we have. To be content
That's true.
is the only thing to subdue
Covetousness.
Yeah.
Because covetousness is a sign of discontent. Or you always want the virtue. It's a sign that there's a deficiency of contentment. Therefore, covetousness enters in.
Yes.
It's there because I don't have contentment.
So I don't use contentment to put covetousness under control.
Yeah.
So if I possess contentment, I don't worry about what other people got that I don't have, or I don't worry about at what advantage they have that I don't have because maybe it's just not my time. Maybe it's not in my cards to possess these things that I see other people possess, or to have a life that the Most High didn't give me. So I'm not worried about that. It's not on my mind. So if I learn to be content on what I possess, this is how I quench that desire and that secret lust that we have. He says, the duty and grace that is contrary to covetousness, being satisfied and pleased with such things as we have. He said, present things. What do I have now? What did the Most High give me now? He said, present things. He says, for past things cannot be recalled. That means I can't worry about what I lost. He said, you can't get back the past. He says, and future things are only in the hand of the Most High. So if it comes to the things that I want to desire, who's in control of that anyway? The Most High. Only the Most High is. It says, what the Most High gives us from day to day, we must be content with, though it falls short of what we have enjoyed hitherto, and though it do not come up to our expectations for the future. So he says you got to learn how to be happy with whatever the Most High puts you in, situation he put you in, on a day-to-day basis. This is how you have to take your life and what you have and to be appreciative of what you have versus the things that you want or the things you lost. You have to take it day to day. Did the Most High bless me today? Do I appreciate what he gave me today? Can I worry about what I lost in the past? Can I worry about what I don't have? No. I got to look at the day. And this is where Christ says sufficient of the day is the what?
The evil thereof.
Is the evil thereof. Because where do people put their minds at?
Tomorrow.
They put their minds on, what am I going to get? What about me? What am I working for? Why am I doing what I'm doing? I don't see the benefit of it. Why am I making all these changes? What's going to be my reward? What's in it for me? Why am I doing all these sacrifices for? Is the Most High even witnessing me? Is he even paying attention to me? Is the Most High even taking notice of what I'm doing? So then people stop living in the present. They start worrying about what's going to happen down the line. When you have to look at, you know what, I got to learn how to be appreciative of what the Most High gave me and not worry about what I don't have. And the best way to do that is to recognize, man, it's not my season or it's not my time. And leave it as simple as that. It's not my season. And if somebody got something that I don't have, then it's their season. It's not my season. If somebody has an advantage, it's their season. Okay, so be it. It's not my season. But I'm not going to say I deserve it or I should have it. He says, what we have enjoyed hitherto, and though it do not come up to our expectations for the future, we must be content with our present lot. It says, and those who cannot do it would not be contented. He says, if you can't do this, if you can't be content with your present lot, with your present circumstance, if you have a problem with your present circumstance, he says, those who cannot do it, that means they cannot be content, would not be contented, though the Most High should raise their condition to their minds. What does he mean? He says, if you can't be content on what you have now, even if the Most High gave you your expectation, you wouldn't be content then either. Even if the Most High gave you what you wanted, guess what? You're still not going to be content.
Yeah.
You're not going to be content later. Now, we know this is true because the scripture says the flesh is never what?
Satisfied.
Flesh is never satisfied. So we know this is true.
Yeah.
So if I can't even be content and focused and happy and pleased and thankful and appreciative and joyful on what the Most High gave me today, even if I did hit the lottery like we talked about
Yeah.
earlier,
Yeah.
guess what?
I want the next one.
It ain't gonna be enough.
Yeah.
Still ain't gonna be
It
happy.
could have been a bigger lottery. It could have been a Powerball.
Bec-
It could have been a Powerball.
It could, you know what? Because instead of the Texas lottery,
Yeah.
put it in the Powerball. You know, what's the difference from $100,000 to $10 to $100 million? What's the difference? You know what you find out? There's no difference. If you can't be content with $10, you're not gonna be content with $100 million. If you can't be satisfied, what he's talking about is a disease. It's a disease that's going to be there whether you was $100 million up or whether you was $100 million down or you was $30 in the hole. It doesn't matter. If you don't know how to be content with the present, it's not going to change whether you're not going to learn to be content because money is in your hands or the things you want is in your hands. You never learned how to be content is the problem. You were never satisfied from the beginning. So even if the Most High does change your circumstance, you still didn't learn the biggest lesson. I didn't learn how to be content. So why would the Most High change it? Even if He would, it's not going to change you because you didn't learn the biggest lesson. You didn't. Even if you got a bigger and better house, even if you got a bigger and better car, even if you had a bigger and better job, you know what you're going to find out? You still got the disease of covetousness.
Yep.
That wasn't fixed. So you know what that means? That means that I will be angry and I will be upset and I will hate my condition even if my condition gets better. That means I've never learned to have joy in the Lord regardless of what He does give me. Because I never learned how to appreciate a damn thing. I never learned how to live in the present. I only talk about what I lost, which you can't get back, or I only talk about what somebody got that I don't got that I feel like I deserve. But I never learned how to actually fixate my mind with the present. Am I happy today? Can I be happy today? You know what you're going to find out with people? They can't. There's always something to make them disgruntled. There's always something to make them upset. There's always something that, man, why I can't be happy because look around me. Look how everybody's winning, I'm not. Well, shit, even if you was winning, you wasn't going to be happy. Because you never learned how to be happy to begin with. That's all he's saying. That's all he's saying is, even if your lot did change and things swayed to your favor, you didn't learn how to look at the Lord right. I never learned how to look at the Lord correctly. He says, and those who cannot do it would not be contented, though the Most High should raise their condition to their minds, for the mind would rise with the condition. What he's saying is, if my expectation was fulfilled, all that's going to happen is my mind is going to create another expectation. Every time the Most High meets me at my expectation and He satisfies my expectation, all that my mind is going to do is raise the bar for another expectation. I'm going to create another expectation.
Yep.
And that's all the mind keeps doing. The Most High give you one rib, you want two. The Most High give you one car, you want two. The Most High give you $10, you want 20. The Most High give you one house, you want a bigger house. You give you a 2-bedroom, you want a 5-bedroom.
Yep.
All that keeps happening. Every time the Most High meets you at your expectation keeps increasing. And therefore, you're never satisfied. And the Most High can meet you again at another expectation. You said you wanted more than one kid, you got 2. I ain't happy with 2. Because they got 5. I only got 2. Well, you only had 1 at first. You asked for 2, the Most High gave you 2. You still not happy because somebody else got 5. Well, you know what? You asked for a car. You got a car. It got AC, but it ain't the color that you want. It ain't the style that you want. You asked for a house. You got a house. It ain't the size that I want. You got a TV, but it don't. It doesn't have the pixelation that I want. The refresh rate is slow. That is 60 hertz on the refresh rate. It's taking too long to load up. You know what you're going to find out? People ain't happy no matter what the Most High do. And that's something that we have not learned how to do, which makes our job in Christ that much more difficult to accomplish because it's what we don't know that destroys us. We never learn how to be satisfied. David is going through this internal struggle, and he's explaining to us the inside and out of it, that you're not going to understand what this feels like until you get to understand it from the sanctuary. You got to go to the sanctuary to get the understanding and clarity about your situation and how to approach your life and look at your life correctly. Otherwise, you'll always be a pouty face. Otherwise, you're always going to be discontent, unsatisfied, unhappy, somber, sad, melancholy. Oh, I don't care what happens. Of course you don't, because you're not getting what you want. But even if the Most High gave it to you, you'll be the same person.
You're somber because you're somber.
You're going to be the same person. It ain't going to change.
Yeah.
It's not going to change because your situation and circumstance was met. You got to fix what's inside of you. That's all he's saying. Now let's go to Job chapter 14, verse 14. Give me verse. I'm sorry. Finish that in. No, we already read. He says, "So foolish was I and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee." So let's go to Job chapter 14, verse 14.
Job chapter 14, verse 14. If a man die, shall he live again?
He said, if a man do what?
If a man die, shall he live again?
So he said, Job asked a question. He said, if a man die, shall he live again? First of all, if a man die, at that point, do you have any control?
Nope.
No, you don't. You have no control. He said, if a man die, will he live again? Do you have that power to live again? No. What he's explaining is being in a position where you don't have control. Read.
All the days of my appointed time.
Stop. What Job is saying, Job said, all the days of my what?
Appointed time.
He said, Job said, you know what, if I was dead, he says, all the days of my appointed time, however long the Most High keeps me there. Read on.
Will I wait?
What does that mean? That means that Job understands that when you don't have any control, what must you have?
Patience.
Patience. Job understands when your life is out of control or you don't have control, you better have patience. You have to have patience when you don't have control. Job said, all the days of my appointed time, I will what?
Says, I will wait.
Go ahead.
Till my change comes.
It says, until the Most High changes my situation. Until the Most High reclaims me. What does Job understand? I'm not on my time. Mm-hmm. It's up to the Most High. And when it's up to the Most High, I have to have patience when I don't have control. Read on.
Verse 15. Thou shalt call, and I will answer thee.
It says, but when the Most High does call you, you got to be ready to what?
Answer.
He said, we got to be ready to answer. What does that mean? That means I got to wait. Be patient when things don't go my way, but I'm ready for instruction. Okay. Means I'm ready to go to work.
Yeah.
This is how man has to live his life. When you don't have power over your circumstance, you put patience in place of the fact that you don't have control. You install patience. And then not only do you install patience when you don't have control over your situation, you stay in a ready mind to go to work, to do the work of the Lord. Just because you're in a situation that you can't control, that doesn't mean I stop doing the work of the Lord. That doesn't mean I give up doing the work of the Lord because I don't have control. No, that's not how it works. He says, you wait, and then when you anticipate the Most High calling you back to work. You wait with a willing mind to do work for the Lord, even though you don't have control, because you were able to put patience there. Read on.
Says, thou shalt call, and I will answer thee.
Go ahead.
Thou will have a desire to work of thine hands.
He says, and I'll be ready to do the work that the Most High called me to do. So what mind frame are you supposed to put yourself in when you're in a condition that you don't control, that you don't have no power over? Patient and ready to work. That means whenever the Most High call me, I'm ready. I don't know when that might be. That doesn't mean I lose zeal. It doesn't mean I lose desire. It doesn't mean I lose enthusiasm. It doesn't mean I lose care. I don't care anymore because I'm not getting what I want, or I don't have power over my situation, or I'm not living where I want. I don't possess what I want. I don't have what I want. So therefore, why even try? It doesn't mean you just start giving up. What you do is you start being patient. Means you know how to wait with anticipation that the Most High may need me for something, and I still keep my zeal, even though I don't have no control. I still keep my enthusiasm to serve the Lord, even though I don't have power. Job understands this. We don't understand this. You know how Job understands this to a T? He's going to explain it. Jump down to verse. Go straight to the point. Verse 18.
God. Job 14 and 18. And surely the mountain falling cometh to naught.
He says, you know what Job is explaining? A mountain is a fixed, firm structure that's very strong. Some mountains are made out of granite. Some mountains are made out of marble. That's where you get granite countertops.
Yeah.
That's where you get these hard, rock-hard substances from.
Mm-hmm.
Some mountains are made out of steel, iron. These are fixated, strong elements. He said, but Job understands something even as strong as permanent as a mountain. He says what?
And surely the mountain falling cometh to naught.
He said even the mountains do what?
Cometh to naught.
Mountains are also known for their height, for their majesty, for their position. He said even they do what?
Cometh to naught.
Even they crumble. Even they break down. He said the mountains come to naught. Go ahead.
And the rock is removed out of its place.
Stop. He said the mountain breaks down into rocks. And then the rocks that are broken from the mountain that fall down either by landslide or falling off the cliff or eroding, he said even they get moved down out of their place. Read on.
Verse 19. The waters wear the stones.
And when the rocks fall down into the streams, the water hits them, and they start to do what? Erode. It's called water erosion. First you got wind erosion, then you got water erosion. He said, but the rocks, as big as a mountain is, it starts to trickle down and start to erode gradually. It gets broken down. Even something as strong as a mountain gets broken down. Read on.
Thou washest away the things.
And when the water hits the stones enough, even they get broken down into little pebbles, like riverbed pebbles. You know how smooth river rocks are? It's smooth because the water's on them all the time. That's what David used to kill Goliath. Some smooth stones from a riverbed. Some smooth stones that was eroded down and worn down to where there's no jaggedness on them. Even something as a mountain will break down over time. Read on.
Thou washest away the things which grow out of the dust of the earth.
So no matter how strong something is on earth, it's subject and prone to being eroded, regardless of its strength, regardless of its position. Read on.
And thou destroyest the hope of man.
It said, wait a minute. Man's hope be strong too. Man's expectation be strong as a mountain. I know the Lord better bless me. He better give me what I want. If I do this work for the Lord, he better give me what I ask for. Man's expectation be just as strong as that damn mountain. But you know what the Most High, you know what Job knows about the Most High? The Most High, Job knows that the Most High will wear down your expectation and wear down your hope. Just like that mountain goes from a damn strong cliff and jagged peaks down to smooth pebbles and some sediments on the sand or a creek. Man's hope get worn down too, just like that mountain. What he's saying is, anything on this earth is prone to be washed down and eroded and broken down. And you know what he understands about man? You know why Job said, I wait patiently even if I die? Because Job is saying, I'm not going to let anything take my hope from me. I'm not going to let nothing take my hope from me. Man will have a plan. He'll have a goal. He'll have a vision. He'll have a desire. And you know what the Most High start doing? Wearing the hell out that damn vision. Eroding that damn desire. Oh, you got a desire. Oh, you got hopes as big as a mountain. Well, guess what the Most High gonna do with them hopes? Tear that down like he do any other mountain. Break that down like he does any other high cliff or mountain peak. Most High know how to blow that up too. High mountains and man's plans are one and the same. They both get eroded. But what happens when your plans get eroded? You know what Job understands? Men's hope in the Lord get eroded too. The more conditions that the Most High brings that are contrary to your vision, your desire, and your plans and your wants, the more you give up hope in the Lord. But Job is smart enough not to let this happen. That's why go to Job chapter 1 and read verse 10, 11, and 12.
Job chapter 1 verse 10. Hast not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side?
Is Satan talking to the Most High, saying, man, listen, you blessed this man. You gave him everything he wanted. Look at his house. Look at his land. Look at what he possessed. Look at his household. Look at his position. You set him up. Read on.
Thou hast blessed the work of his hands.
You blessed him. You enhanced him. Read.
And his substance is increased in the land.
And he's the richest man in the east. When you read the scripture.
Yeah.
When you read the chapter, he was the wealthiest man in the east. He said, you prospered this man. Read on.
But put forth thy hand now.
Break down what you gave him. Take away what you gave him. Read.
And touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Satan is banking on the fact that if the right conditions happen to man, man will do what?
Curse thee to thy face.
Is Satan wrong?
No.
In Job's case, he is. But But he didn't get that confidence to tell the Most High this for nothing. Obviously, he's been on his job.
This is a pattern.
Obviously, he recognizes something that when you touch man enough, and you touch their condition enough, what will they do in their desire to serve the Lord?
Curse thee to thy face.
They're going to curse the Most High to their face. That's what man do as soon as they change their condition. Change the condition, change their level of servitude.
Yep.
Change their condition, don't give them what they want, you're not going to be important anymore. The Lord is not going to be priority. They're not going to bless you. They're not going to honor you. They're not going to serve you. They're not going to worship you. All I got to do, Satan is saying, all I got to do is touch your condition, manipulate your circumstance, and you're going to give up your hope. Job is saying in chapter 14, listen, man, Job said mountains and man's hopes are one and the same. They both can be eroded. But Job is honest enough to know that he's not going to let his hope in the Lord be eroded. I'm not going to let my hope in the Lord be broken down because my condition changes. Now go back to Job chapter 14 and read that verse 19.
Come on, Job chapter 14, verse 19. The waters wear the stones. Thou washest away the things which grow out of the dust of the earth.
Go ahead.
And thou destroyest the hope of man.
It said, and just the same way the Most High wear down a mountain over time, takes time, man will stop wanting to serve the Lord the same way. Over time, not getting what you want. You expect this, and it didn't come. You expect things to change in your favor. It didn't happen fast enough. You had a high expectation of what the truth's supposed to do for you. And after year 4, After year 5, after year 10, you're still doing the same thing. After year 15, nothing's changed. I'm doing the same thing. You start to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I working so hard? What's the benefit of doing this? This is year 18. I've been in the truth, but I'm not seeing my personal situation look any better. What's going on here? Year 20. The Lord made me a promise. Here's Abram 25 years later, 24 years later. I don't see a child yet. I'm about to hit 100. My 100th birthdays are coming up. I'll be 100 this year. But he told me about a baby 25 years ago. I'm about to hit a C note. And I just don't see it. So what happens when the Most High do to you the same way? What happens after so many years, your expectation was up to here, and it's not fulfilled? Are you going to maintain the same zeal? You going to maintain the same commitment to the Lord? Or are you going to let the condition wear you down and erode you? You're going to let the condition dictate your hope. Job understands this. That's why Job said, listen, I understand the hope of man are like mountains. They as strong as they may be, they get worn down over time. Job is explaining that he knows that's how hopes are. That's why Job said, even if I die, he said, all my appointed time will I wait until you call on me. And then when you call, I will answer thee when you have need of the work of my hand. Meaning Job understands, man, listen, it's not this situation I may be in, it may be not in my favor. It may not be, the cards may not be dealt to me. I don't have the hand to play this deck the way I want to play. It doesn't matter to me. Job understands that regardless of the condition, he's going to remain zealous and faithful and enthusiastic to serve the Lord, regardless if he has it or not. Did he not tell his wife, "O foolish woman, thou speakest the foolish woman"?
Yeah.
He says, shall we not receive the good of the Lord and receive the evil also?
Yeah.
What does Job understand?
You can get both.
You're going to get both in life. Appreciate the good when you got it, and don't bail out on the Lord when you don't have it. Don't forsake the Lord when things don't go your way. There's things that Job had. There's an understanding that Job has that we don't always have. There's an understanding that Job has that we don't possess. We don't know how to watch things erode as far as our expectations and wants and still stay zealous and committed. We start to dial down our efforts. We start to give the Most High crumbs, pennies, when we don't get what we want. We turn down our enthusiasm. We stop teaching people.
Yeah.
We stop spreading the gospel. We don't care so much because I'm not getting what I want. I'm not getting the things I want, so why do it? Why be here? That's how man is. Read on.
Verse 20. Thou prevailest forever against it.
And Job understands that that's how it always is. You know what Job understands? That's how the Most High, he's talking about this erosion process. He says, that's how the Most High keep men under control. You know how the Most High keep men under control? Keep breaking down their hope. Keep not giving them what they want when they want it. Not giving them their expectation. And let's see how committed they're going to be over time. You know why Abram is called faithful Abraham? Because he didn't change over time.
Yeah.
Even when he didn't get what he wanted right away. It didn't change his servitude. It didn't change his commitment when he didn't get what he wanted. Proverbs 13 and 12 say, hope deferred, make it what?
Heart sick.
It makes the heart sick. When you don't get what you want, the normal mind frame of man is to be what?
Sick.
Sick. What does that mean? I don't want to do it. I can't do it. I don't feel like doing it.
Depressed.
I'm depressed. You know, you're not even the same person that you were when you first got the truth. You know what's happening over time? If a man is not the same person that he was when he first got the truth, that light is starting to go dim. The light is only going dim because he's not getting what he wants. He's not on fire. You're not on fire for the Lord. You're not on fire for the Lord because you're not getting what you want. And that's what it all comes down to. Everybody has a want. They just don't say it. But you know they have a want because their enthusiasm is attached to it.
That's true.
Their servitude to the Lord and commitment is attached to it. So when they don't get it, neither are they committed. That's how you know that they got it. That's how you know that they have a want. Because if they didn't have a want or an expectation, the condition wouldn't matter. They still going to serve the Lord with zeal regardless and enthusiasm regardless. Everybody be lying. The Most High knows. Job is explaining this is how the Most High prevails over man. This is how the Most High keeps man in a certain state of mind. Keeps him humble, keeps him hungry, keeps him thirsty, keeps him wanting, keeps him connected. Job understands this. The Most High ain't just giving us what we want off the rip. Man, we'll never mind the Lord. We'll put the Most High on the back burner. He give us what we want. So the Most High knows how to breadcrumb us. He knows how to draw us out. I know how to get the best out of you. Because we're liars. The Most High is not a liar. We're liars. Paul said, let God be true and every man a liar. We're liars. We tell the Lord, well, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. You liar. Lord, you give me this. I'll commit this. Liar. Let me have this, Lord, and I'll show you that I liar. Because I know we lie. Let this happen in my favor. I'll give this up. Oh, really? Well, how about I draw this down over time? Let's let some time pass real quick, and let's see if you walking like you're talking. Let's see if you're as committed as you say you are. Let me draw out the thing that I know you really want. Let me draw it out a little bit. Let me extend it a little bit. You put some time in between you, and let's find out if you're so, fanatical about your worship. You know what you find out when the Most High starts stringing out what a man wants or a woman wants? That fanaticism leaves. That enthusiasm to serve the Lord starts to diminish. Job said this is how the Most High prevails over man. This is how the Most High keeps man in his place and also determines what he's about. Read that again.
Job 14 and 20. Thou prevailest forever against him, and he passeth. Thou changest his countenance and sendest him away.
He said, brother put Mount St. Helen lost over 1,300 feet of its height after its volcanic eruption in 1980. 1,300 feet. So how many eruptions have we had where we lost expectation and hope in the Lord? You know what an eruption be? I got my car repossessed. I got my heart broke. A little heartbreak action. I lost about 100 feet off my expectation. Lost about 1,000 feet. Got my heart broke. I'm broke. My money's broke. That's 50 feet.
It might be for 100.
Might be 100. I lost custody of my kids. Man, I had 700 feet gone.
Yeah.
700 feet gone of expectation, of hope in the Lord. With every situation that go wrong, we wear down even more and more. He said, but this is how the Most High prevails over man. Read that part again.
Job chapter 14 verse 20. Thou prevailest forever against him, and he passeth. Thou changest his countenance.
He said, all the Most High know is that if you let your expectation be broken, you're going to change your countenance. That means your heart will change toward the Lord. The countenance represents the way you look at the Father. When situations don't go your way, you alter how you look at the Lord. We know in Ecclesiastes, get that, 3 and 24. Read that. Hold that where you at in Job. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and 24 through 26.
Chapter 3 and verse 24. Says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
And an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
That's not what I want. I want I want 13 and 24. Salakia. I want 13 and 24.
Ecclesiastes chapter 13 and verse 24.
Read that.
Riches are good unto him.
Stop. What does that mean? That means I'm up. I'm up. It said riches are good to him. Yeah, riches are favorable. Riches are in my favor. Go ahead.
Riches are good unto him that have no sin.
Stop. When is the only time riches is good for me?
When hands are clean.
It said when there's no sin. So let me ask you a question. Why would a person sin then?
They want more riches.
Mm-mm. That means I use the riches for what? For my flesh. I didn't use the riches for my spirit or for the spirit. I use the riches for the flesh. So he said riches is only good when it's not pertaining to your what? When, to yourself, to your flesh.
Yeah.
So having an abundance is beneficial when it has nothing to do with your flesh. Read on.
It says, and poverty.
And poverty, which a lot of us can feel and relate to. Read on.
Is evil.
It's evil. Go ahead.
In the mouth of the ungodly.
Of the who?
Of the ungodly.
Why is poverty evil in the mouth of the ungodly? Because I let my condition change how I look at the Father. Because what riches and poverty are two conditions.
Yeah.
They're two conditions. That's all they are. They're just conditions. I'm up and I'm down. I'm up one and I'm down one. But these conditions shouldn't change how I look at who. When I'm up, I shouldn't indulge in the flesh. And when I don't have it, I shouldn't be angry at the Most High. Because both of those situations can displace a person with the Father. Whether I'm up or I'm down, I can be displaced in my perspective and how I look at the Father. Both of those conditions can alter my judgment to the Most High. Read on.
It says, the heart of a man changeth his countenance.
But the mind of a man is what dictates my what?
Countenance.
My outlook. Read.
Whether it be for good or evil.
Man's mind, remember what Solomon said. He said we live between what? Two parallels. What are the two parallels that we live between?
Good or evil.
Having and having not. Knowing, not knowing the end, not knowing the evil. He said we live between the change of seasons. He said to everything there's a what?
A season.
A season. And to everything under the sun, there's a time and a purpose. So we live between the ups and downs. So you know what? While we live between the ups and downs, the key is knowing how to keep your mind positive towards the Lord, where regardless of where you are in your condition. That's the secret. Whether I'm up, I know how to stay committed to the Lord. Whether I'm down, I know how to stay committed to the Lord. So the seasons don't matter. The circumstances don't matter. The weather doesn't matter. That's what people call fair weather friends. What is a fair weather friend? When the weather's good, you'll see them there. When things get bad, they're nowhere to be found. That's how the Most High knows if you're committed to Him or not. It doesn't matter the condition. It could be summer, winter, spring, fall. It could be rain, sleet, hail, or snow. Regardless of the condition, I'm committed to the Most High. I can have and I can have not, and I'm just as committed. Man lives between these two dynamics. But the key is to stay positive towards the Lord in between these two dynamics. We understand this?
Yeah.
Read on.
God. It says, the heart of a man changeth his countenance, whether it be for good or evil.
Go ahead.
And a merry heart.
But a man that could be positive, regardless. Read.
A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance.
He always has a positive outlook year round. When it's summer, when it's 110, he got a positive outlook. When it's freezing outside, he got a positive outlook. When he's broke and ain't got no money, he has a positive outlook. When he got everything he asked for, he has a positive outlook. You know what the Most High is waiting for to determine? Can you stay positive regardless of your situation? Or does the conditions have to be favorable to you in order for you to be positive? Does all your expectations got to get met in order for you to look at the Lord in the right way? If that's the case, the Most High just going to keep drawing it out even longer then. Because then he knows that your commitment is conditional. That's what Satan is banking on. Satan is banking on the fact that as soon as your condition change, you're going to deviate and give up your fight for the Most High. Your love for the Father. That's what Satan wants you to do. That's all Satan is saying. Change their condition and they're going to curse you anyway. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to learn how to serve the Most High no matter what. No matter what's happening in our life, serve the Lord regardless. Have it, don't have it, happy, sad, without. That's why Paul said, I've learned to be content with the Lord, whether I be abased or I abound. Whether I'm low or whether I'm high, it doesn't matter. I'm still even keeled and content. I'm still satisfied with the Lord. Paul has the mind that we're reading about in Ecclesiastes. Read on.
It says, a cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity.
The only way that you can have a heart where that's in prosperity is when you've learned how to create a positive outlook and you've put your sole trust in the Lord no matter what. When you develop an ultimate connection with the Father, then it doesn't matter your circumstance. It doesn't matter your condition. We're going to prove it. Read that.
Okay, it says
26.
26
Verse 26.
Verse 26. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity.
Read on.
And the finding out of parables.
Now, this is how you're going to develop that. Same way David developed it. Remember David said he didn't understand his situation until he went into the sanctuary of the Lord? Yeah. So when will you learn how to develop a positive outlook and sustain a positive outlook? He said it takes wearisome of what? It takes work. It takes labor. Meaning you have to labor in what though? Read again.
It says, and the finding out of parables is a wearisome labor of the mind.
But you developed a positive outlook. It had to be taught. It had to be developed. You're not going to just have a positive outlook because you're just having a positive outlook. You have to learn how to create a positive outlook. You have to go to the sanctuary of the Lord. You have to be instructed on what it takes to maintain a positive outlook. It's hard work to sustain a positive outlook. Because everything could, as soon as conditions change, which they change daily, your outlook can change daily. You have to train yourself to think positive. That means you have to keep coming back to the sanctuary of the Lord. I got to keep seeking understanding. Why am I this way? What am I tripping on? He said it's worrisome, but it's worth it. It's laborious to keep fixing your mind to make it positive. That's the work. But it's worth it. Because once you develop it, it doesn't matter the condition anymore. You can look at everything positive. Until the pure, all things are pure. Everything becomes pure when I train my mind to be positive throughout the conditions. This is what David had to do. Now go back to Psalm 73 to prove it.
Psalm 73 and 17. Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I their end.
Then I stopped tripping. He said, I had to go seek understanding. I had to go get understanding from the Most High. That's how you get, he says, through thy parables, I get what?
Understanding.
I get understanding. That's where your understanding comes from. But the parables are worrisome. That means it takes work to develop a positive mind. It don't come easy. A positive outlook don't come easy. But you got to dig in the Bible to get one. You got to study. And you got to keep studying to develop a positive outlook. You got to keep feeding yourself reasons to be positive. Otherwise, David said, man, I was a beast. Read that verse 22.
Con. Verse 22. So foolish was I and ignorant. I was as a beast before them.
He said, I was a what?
A beast before them.
So if you don't keep fixing your outlook, you're going to stay a what?
A beast.
A beast. And you're going to stay envious at what the world got and what you don't have. You're going to stay covetous. You're going to stay in the wrong mentality. You're never going to be satisfied with what the Most High give you. You're always going to be negative. You're always going to find a reason to complain. You're always going to look at the imbalance of life. Who has what and what you don't have. That's going to always be there if you don't fix your outlook. But it takes work. Read. Finish the chapter.
Con. Verse 23. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast.
They said, nevertheless, regardless of what I was going through, because I was tripping, and I let like Job said, I let my outlook become eroded, and my hope erode. He said, nevertheless, because I had to go to the sanctuary, I'm what?
I am continually with thee.
That means, you know what? I was tripping, I got caught up, I got disconnected, but I put my trust back in the Most High. Read.
Thou hast holding me by my right hand.
It said, you held me up, you corrected my outlook. You helped me sustain a positive outlook. Read on.
Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel.
He said, you've given me what?
Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel.
You cannot develop a positive outlook without the Most High's what?
Counsel.
You gotta, all them little secret lusts and all these secret things, devious things that we got in us, the things that we feel like are unfair about the Most High, all these things got to be fixed. All these things got to be fixed. All the negative that's in us got to be fixed. He said, you guided me by your counsel. Read on.
And afterward, receive me to glory.
And then you recognized me and received me to glory. I had to fix myself. I had to make some adjustments because I was tripping. Just like all of us be tripping. Read on.
Whom have I in heaven but thee?
He said, but I can always look at positive when I put my trust in who?
In thee.
He says, whom do I have in heaven but thee? David said, man, you're my affection, you're my focus. You're what I care about the most. Read on.
And there is none upon earth that I desire besides thee.
He said, man, when it come down to it, I don't want nothing else on earth. Meaning he eliminated his wants and put his mind back on the Most High as priority. Read on.
My flesh and my heart faileth.
He said, yeah, but when it comes to the flesh, it's never satisfied. It's always going to want, and want. You're never going to be happy about your situation. Read on.
But the Most High is the strength of my heart.
He said, but what keeps me strong?
The Most High.
What keeps my mind strong?
The Most High.
Read on.
And my portion forever.
He's my reward. I'm not looking for the reward of what I feel like I should have based upon the works that I do. The Most High is my reward. Finish that chapter.
For lo, they that are far from thee.
Stop. If I don't learn how to do what David is doing, I'll be far from the Lord. Read on.
For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish. Thou hast destroyed all of them that go a whoring from thee.
He says everybody else that doesn't develop this mind, they go a whoring like a whore. It says they go a whoring from thee. Meaning what? Where's their mind at? Everything else.
Their personal pleasure.
Everything else. They're chasing something else. They're not content with serving the Lord. He's not priority. If you don't develop a positive outlook to the Most High, you're naturally going to chase the flesh. You're naturally going to chase what the world has to give you. That's always going to be in front of your eyes, and you're going to be fixated on what the world has to offer you. Read on.
But it is good for me to draw near to the Most High.
He said, but not for me. I'm tired of going to whoring like everybody else in the world. I don't care what everybody else got. I'm not looking at what everybody else got. He said, not for me. David said, listen, man, I'm going to keep my focus on the Lord. Read.
I have put my trust in the Lord power, that I may declare all thy works.
He says, and I'm going to do whatever he asked me to do. And I'm going to declare that the Lord's work is good. So what we have to do is learn how to wait. When things don't go our way, and we don't get what we want. There's a mindset that must be developed in learning how to keep your zeal and your enthusiasm to serve the Lord. When you don't have what you want, when your hope is being eroded, it doesn't mean that your faith should be eroded right along with it. What it means is you got to learn how to have these things with you. You have to have patience with you. You have to have long suffering with you. You have to have meekness with you. You have to have forbearance with you. These are the things that we read from the beginning that Paul said as a prisoner that he keeps with him at all times. Because otherwise it'll change his outlook. Any questions? All right, with that, we're going to say shalom. We'll see you on Friday. All right? Shalom, everybody online. The water for hanging out with us and getting class. Hopefully it was easy to understand. Shalom. We'll see you on Friday.
Shalom.
All right. Shalom, everybody.